Hello, Internet. Today we are taking a look at the newest product from Alpaka, their Eclipse Gaming Sling. As the name might suggest, this is a sling bag that is designed to hold gaming devices like a Nintendo Switch 2, a Valve Steam Deck, Asus ROG Ally, and other gaming devices of that ilk. I picked this up recently because I think it might be a good companion for travel. My idea for it is that it might make a good sling bag to take on an airplane, put the things I need for it while I'm on the flight, throw it under the seat, and then when I'm at my destination, I can use it as kind of an everyday sling. If I need, just a little bit more than the pockets can hold, I can take the gaming device out and use it as an everyday device. So that's kind of why I wanted to take a look at it and see what it can do. And I got it a couple of weeks ago, and here are my thoughts on it. So externally, this is comes in one color, black. It is very, very black. No other color options at this time. You can see it's wide enough that needs to do it. It's maybe a little wider than I would normally like for a sling, but that's just the way it has to be to hold the things it needs to hold. And along back we have one pocket here that's sized for a passport mostly. We'll show you that in a little bit. The two close to the strap, which we'll show you. The main zipper into the main compartment here, the front zipper here, and then a handle along the top front, which I thought was a little weird until I actually tried using it, and see, it actually makes a lot of sense. You'll see that when it's fully packed out. The two zippers here are PU coated, which means that they have a little bit more weather resistance, but that PU coating can peel over time. Just something to think about. I don't love it, but it adds to the weather resistance of the bag. So we're going to take a look at the strap next. I don't have the strap attached because it's big and unwieldy. And so we're going to take a look at it, attach it, and show it, and then take it off again to actually show what the bag looks like. But this is the strap that came with the bag. Now, I've been trying to figure out how to best discuss this strap as I've been playing with it, and I don't know other way to say it. It's a bad strap. I don't like it at all. It is way more robust than it needs to be and introduces more problems than it needs for what it's trying to accomplish. So you can see here that it is actually very well padded. It's got a lot of padding along here. And the theory behind that is the gaming devices like a Steam Deck, they're 1.5 pounds. You might have 3 or 4 pounds of gear in here, so they wanted a robust strap. I don't think it's necessary. I think this is way too much for what it's trying to do and causes so many other compromises. You can see the strap itself is pretty wide, and it's got a pretty rigid seatbelt-like material. It's flexible, but not the most flexible or softest seatbelt type material I've ever seen in my life. The biggest compromise with the strap, though, is that, well, you can slide it. For me, where I needed to have the buckle, for the length that I needed, the buckle is right in the middle of the strap. So when I'm wearing it on my shoulder, the buckle's right here. It's very rigid along there. It's not very good. It just doesn't fit what I want to do very well. And adjusting it is actually kind of a nightmare. So I can pull this out, and there's the adjuster buckle. It's good hardware. It's just, again, way too robust for it. And now that I've got this out, if I want to adjust it and then feed it back in, it is really hard to feed in. I'm not even going to bother to try to do it on camera because I always have a really tough time of it. Oh, there we go. So a little easier than I've gotten. The curse, this is the easiest I've ever gotten it to go in. Maybe doing it 4 or 5 times will make a difference to it, but I do not like this strap, and when I go to use it on a trip, I'm not going to be using it. It is way, way, way more difficult than it needs to be. Attaching it to the sling, it's got these attachment points here with this guy. Now this works pretty well. It just slides right on. You attach it in, you attach both sides, and there we go. We have the strap attached to the bag. But again, these things are way more robust than they need to be. They're inflexible, they are giant, and while they swivel nicely, they don't move this way super well. This doesn't bend super well on it. It just did not fit me particularly well. So thankfully, we're going to take this off. These attachment points are just on a little loop here, and they can come off. So when I go to use this, I'm going to be trying it with a different strap. This strap on this sling is, in my opinion, the biggest miss of the whole thing, and I don't like it at all. But we're going to go be a little bit more positive and talk about the good parts of the bag with some caveats. So we're going to pack it out based on how I would take it on a flight. So along this back, this is good for smaller or flatter items. Now, for me, that is where I'm going to want my passport when I'm on a plane. So I have this Bellroy passport wallet, and this is where the bag starts to fall down just a little bit for me. In this passport wallet, which you can see is not much bigger than a regular passport, it fits, but barely. The zipper, I can get it to close, but it's tight. And I think just like another millimeter or two to accommodate a passport in a wallet would be so much better. It's right up against the top of the zipper here, putting a little bit of stress on it. And to me, it's just no good. It works, I just don't like it. Now, I like to use a passport wallet because, you know, it's good for a passport or two, but I also will keep currency in here, extra cards that I don't need. That kind of stuff goes in here. I like having that in all in one spot. So I use a passport wallet when I travel. Now, I will show you if I just want to stick just a passport in, fits in no problem, lots of space, the pocket's wide, it's just not very deep. I think this is going to be a theme of the bag, and that just like a little bit more space, just a little bit more would have made a huge difference in the usability of the bag. So passport in there. We're going to go to the front next because we'll show the main compartment last. So in the front, in here, you're going to see a black hole. The internal materials, at least for most of the bag, is the same as the outer material. So it is black, which means it's hard to see the inside of this bag. That sucks. I don't like it, but it is what it is. You use the bag as you have it. You can kind of see there's a divider in here to have two different sections for the bag. On this side is an alpaca key leash. This is just a magnetic leash, good for if you need to have your keys when you travel, driving with a car or whatever. It's a good key leash. I like Alpaka's magnetic adapter. It goes and sits on this side. So for me, when I'm on a flight, the things I'm going to want to take on it are a USB adapter or a USB cable and a power adapter. So I think those fit nicely in this bag. I can take those, plug those into an airline seat, assuming the power works, but that's neither here nor there. So we're going to stick that in there. In the right side of that, I'm going to stick something like, you know, a protein bar, granola bars, some snacks. Those are going to go in that side. And, you know, for a plane, that's kind of what I want to have easy access to for that. So we're going to close that up and head into the main compartment. So main compartment, zipper goes all the way around. The zipper pulls all throughout the bag are very nice. It is a nice paracord style zipper pull. It's easy. The zippers glide well. You can pull it all the way around and get access to the main compartment. So in the main compartment, this is where this top handle actually makes sense on the front because of the way the weight distributes on it. The easiest way to actually see the main compartment is to hold it from this top side and kind of the back dangling down. So that's kind of the easiest way to see. You can see in this main compartment, we have this kind of orange line place. This is where your gaming device is going to go. There's another pocket in here. This comes with the device or with the bag. This is a kind of card holder for Nintendo Switch or Switch 2 game cards. There's little slots here. There are 20 of them. It's a little overkill for me. You could probably use it for SD cards if it was a camera carry thing for you. I'm not going to get a ton of use out of this. I kept it in the bag for this video, but I'm probably going to stick it in a drawer and lose it after this. This is not a thing that I'm going to travel with. I would certainly never travel with 20 Switch game cards with me, but I suppose if you want a couple, that's not a bad thing to have. And there's a dedicated pocket just for that right here. Now you can kind of see a tiny hint of blue. That is the only other color in the bag. Gives a little bit of highlight to these front two pockets with this nice stretchy material. And then there's a big open space. So we're going to start with the gaming devices. This is a Nintendo Switch 2. And we're going to put that in there, and as you can see, the space kind of swallows it up. There's a lot of extra space in there. We're going to go with the bigger device just to kind of show off what this thing can hold. So in here I have a Valve Steam Deck. We're gonna go stick it inside, and it fits nicely. It's about as big as it can get, but it fits well in there. So we are gonna kind of flip it around here to show the other parts of it. Now on the other side of it, I'm gonna have a battery bank, you know, just in case the power on the seat doesn't work. I have a way to keep a device charged, especially my phone. Here I'm gonna have, this is just my wallet. I'm not gonna have my wallet in my pocket while I'm going through an airport on a plane. That I can shove into there and it fits nicely in that spot. And then I am going to take, this is a Kindle Paperwhite in a case, and that's gonna stick it down in the front here, just to kind of show you what it can hold. So there we go. There it is, mostly filled out. That is what I would take on a plane with me, at least inside of this. That's enough to keep me mostly entertained. One thing that will not fit in here in any which way is a set of big over-the-ear headphones. These are my Bose Quiet Comfort Ultras. They will not fit in here. I could empty this thing out entirely and maybe get these in, but they will not fit. For me, it's not the end of the world because I can go and, you know, just put them around my neck as I'm going through the airport. It's fine. Would it have been nice to fit them in? No, but I wouldn't necessarily expect them to fit inside of it. So just something to keep in mind. Now, when it comes to the space of this guy, it is so close to being exactly what I would want. But there's just a couple of things to kind of go along with the size of the passport compartment in it that just absolutely drive me wild. So I'm going to take out the Kindle, and I'm actually going to take out the Steam Deck just for now to kind of show you the size of it. Now, this is an iPad. This is an M1 iPad, standard size. If I try to put it in, you can see it is almost big enough. It just barely sticks out. Now, I wish that Alpaka would have just made it just a little bit bigger. We're talking, you know, less than an inch of extra height to make it fit an iPad. Would it be super comfortable? No. But that just kind of gives you an idea of how close it is to fitting an iPad. I think that if it would have just been a little larger, it would have made all the difference in the world. You know, the passport pocket could have been a little bigger as well to make it fit with a passport wallet. If an iPad could have fit in it, it would have made it so I don't have to, you know, carry this separately from it. I could have just tossed it in. But as it stands, it's just a little too small to fit an iPad. And I think that's very unfortunate. If it was only like this tall and the iPad stuck out, you know, this much from it, I wouldn't care. But for how close it is, it feels just like a big miss to not have it fit a standard size tablet. You know, an iPad mini will fit, obviously. My Kindle fits, as you could see. So it's a little bit nitpicky. It's maybe not designed to carry a tablet, but with how close the size was, I kind of wish it did. And I really, really wish that they would have found a way to make it happen. So now that we have that, you know, my other use for it would be, you know, going around town with it when I'm traveling, you know, a way to, you know, a pocket reliever like a Sling is. It's maybe a little big than what I would want, but if it's one device that can do it, great. You know, when it's mostly empty, it's fairly malleable. So with a good strap, you know, it wouldn't be too terribly bulky. And I'd put, you know, a few different things in it compared to what I would put in when I'm traveling on an airplane. So when I'm out and about, probably wouldn't use the protein bars or the granola bars. I would probably still have, you know, a power adapter and a USB cable. Those are probably going to stay in there. I would probably stick my keys in there. Honestly, my wallet would probably go in here as well. Actually, no, my wallet would go along the backside. My wallet fits okay in the backside, even with a passport there. So the wallet can go on the back. Now you can see it gets caught because it's just not quite big enough, this pocket. Again, just a little bit extra height to fit a standard sized wallet would have made all the difference in the world. So in this side, I would stick my keys, right? Maybe like hotel stuff in there if I needed to, or headphones, you know, earbuds, that kind of thing would stick well in there. And then filling out the main compartment when I'm out and about, I would still keep the battery in there. I usually have this guy with me. This is called the Snap Grip from a company called ShiftCam. It is a MagSafe, got a Bluetooth camera shutter, so it kind of looks like a camera when you have it attached to your phone, gives you a shutter button. I like to have this when I'm traveling for fun. It's a good touristy thing to have if I'm taking lots of pictures. Makes it easy to to take a lot of pictures with me, so I would stick that in here just to have when I want it. And then this is a Peak Design everyday tote for if I need more space in it. That sticks in there very easily. And that's basically all I would keep in it. So you can see it's when it's empty, it holds a fair amount of stuff, and that is how I would use it kind of in an everyday basis when I'm traveling. So it does fit that dual purpose pretty well. Now, I wanted to like this bag a lot. There's some things it does pretty well, some things it does okay. The strap is bad. I wish it were just a little bit bigger to accommodate, some of the bigger things that I might want to stick in it. The fact that it's so close to fitting an iPad and doesn't is just a big miss in my opinion. Overall, the bag is fine. I'm going to try it on a trip. I don't know if it's something I'm going to have forever, but I wanted to give it a try just to see if it could do what I wanted it to do. And it's close. I maybe V2 of this bag would have the improvements that I'm looking for. So as it stands, I don't know if I'd recommend this one unless you just want to use it just to store a Steam Deck or a Switch and the associated gaming peripherals. So that's what we got. That is the Alpaka Eclipse Gaming Sling, and I hope you enjoyed the video.